Listen to me. I need you to really hear what I'm about to say, because if you get this, it will change the way you move. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody cares about your story, your pain, or your reasons for not getting it done. You think people are sitting around waiting to feel sorry for you. No. The world keeps moving whether you're winning or you're losing. Life is not going to pause because you're tired, because you're hurt, because you've been through some things. You can tell your story all day long, but at the end of it, people still want to know it. Did you execute? Did you deliver? Did you do what you said you were going to do? And I'm not saying that to be harsh. I'm saying it because I lived it. I'm saying it because I know what it's like to want someone to understand, to want someone to see what you've been through, to give you a break. But breaks don't build legacies. Excuses don't pay bills. Complaints don't build empires. Nobody cares that you came from the bottom if you stay there. What people respect is when you rise out of it, when you grind so hard that your story becomes an inspiration instead of an excuse. Some of you right now, you're holding on to your excuses like they're treasures. You want to tell everybody how hard your life is, how unfair things are, how many times you've been knocked down. And I get it, because life hits hard. But here's the truth. Life doesn't care about your feelings, and neither does success. Success doesn't stop to listen to your complaints. Success only responds to effort, to consistency, to sacrifice. You think the marketplace is going to reward you because you tried? No. You think your dreams are going to show up at your door because you're a good person? No. Nobody cares how bad you want it if you're not willing to give everything you've got for it. Nobody cares how many times you failed if you're not willing to stand back up and go again. People only care about results. And don't get it twisted. It's not that your pain isn't real. It's not that your struggles don't matter. They do. But what you do with them matters more. Some of you are using your struggles as a shield, and you think it protects you, but really it's keeping you from your destiny. Your excuses are building walls around your future. Every time you say, I can't because, you're locking yourself in. Every time you tell the story of why you didn't, instead of why you must, you're writing your own limitation. But when you decide, nobody cares about my excuses, and I don't either, everything changes. When you make up your mind that your story will not end where it started, you take the power back. You stop waiting for sympathy and start demanding results from yourself. You stop begging people to feel sorry for you and start making them respect you. Respect doesn't come from excuses. It comes from execution. Some of you have been asking, why doesn't anybody see how hard it is for me? Because it's not their job. It's yours. It's your job to take the hard, take the pain, take the obstacles, and turn them into fuel. You've got to learn how to suffer and still move. You've got to learn how to get rejected and still push. You've got to learn how to wake up tired and still show up. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. There are people out there who had less than you, who went through worse than you, who had every reason to quit, and they didn't. They didn't let their excuses become their identity. They turned their pain into power. They took nobody cares and said, that's fine. I'll show them results they can't ignore. That's the mindset you need. Stop waiting for someone to care and start caring enough about yourself to push through it. At the end of the day, nobody cares about your excuses. They care about your results. And if you don't have results yet, then you don't have time to explain. You have time to work. You have time to grind. You have time to get it done. Because when you win, when you succeed, when you reach the top, then people will listen. Then your story will matter, not as an excuse, but as proof that you didn't quit. So the next time you feel like giving up because it's hard, the next time you want to complain about how unfair life is, remember this: nobody cares. Work harder. Let me tell you something. Hard work is the separator. It's the thing that creates distance between average and great, between those who talk and those who walk it out. Too many people want the prize, but they don't want the process. They want the outcome, but they don't want hours. They want to stand on the stage, but they don't want to sweat in the dark. Listen to me. The only thing that is going to set you apart is how hard you are willing to work when nobody is watching. See, talent is cool, but talent fades. Gift is great, but if you don't develop it, it dies with you. I've seen people with all the talent in the world go nowhere because they thought talent was enough. But I've also seen people who weren't the smartest, weren't the strongest, weren't the most gifted, but they refused to be outworked. They got up earlier, they stayed later, they studied longer, they pushed harder. And guess what? They passed up everybody who was supposed to be better than them. You've got to understand, hard work doesn't guarantee success, but without it, you guarantee failure. There is no way around it. There's no shortcut, no hack, no secret formula. It's the grind. It's the hours you put in when your body says quit, when your mind says stop, but your spirit says keep going. It's what you do after you've given everything you've got, and you find a way to give a little more. That's where champions are built. Some of you work only when you feel like it. You give effort only when it's convenient. That's why you can't get to the next level. Because hard work is not about feelings, it's about commitment. You don't get to choose when to grind. You grind when it's raining, when it's snowing, when it's hot, when it's uncomfortable. You grind when you're broke, when you're tired, when you're doubted. You don't stop. You don't let circumstances decide your effort. You decide that you will outwork everybody, period. And don't think people aren't watching. They may not say anything, but people can't ignore consistency. They can't ignore excellence. When you show up day after day, when you deliver regardless of how you feel, that's when you build a reputation. That's when doors start opening. Not because of luck, but because you proved you were worthy. I need you to get this in your spirit. Hard work is your only leverage. Some of you think you don't have what it takes because you weren't born with certain gifts. That's a lie. You may not control where you started, but you control how much effort you give. You may not control how much talent you got, but you control your grind. Effort is free. Discipline is free. Focus is free, but it will cost you comfort. It will cost you sleep. It will cost you ease. And if you're not willing to pay that price, then stop dreaming about success, because success won't come on discount. There will always be somebody smarter, faster, richer, but they will never outwork you if you decide that's your edge. And once you've made that decision, the world can't stop you, because hard work builds confidence. Hard work builds character. Hard work builds belief. And when you know you gave everything, there's no fear left. You walk in rooms differently. You compete differently. You think differently. So stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for someone to push you. Push yourself. Push yourself until your best becomes your minimum. Push yourself until average feels like disrespect. Push yourself until people can't help but notice. That's the kind of work I'm talking about. Every second you waste is somebody else's second to get ahead. Every day you skip is somebody else's opportunity to pass you. And while you're complaining, somebody else is training. While you're sleeping, somebody else is working. While you're making excuses, somebody else is building. And at the end of it, it's not about who wanted it more. It's about who worked for it more. So I don't care what the obstacle is. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how long it takes. You owe it to yourself to outwork everybody. Don't let anybody write your story and say you were average. Don't let anybody remember you as the one who gave up. Be remembered as the one who went all in, the one who worked like their life depended on it, the one who refused to be outdone. Because at the end of the day, hard work is the difference maker. It's the thing that separates the dreamers from the doors. And if you want to be great, if you want to be remembered, if you want to leave a mark, then you've got one option: outwork them all. Focus. That's the word that will either make you or break you. Some of you are so distracted by what everybody else is doing, you can't even see what you're supposed to be doing. You're scrolling, you're comparing, you're watching, you're listening, you're paying attention to everybody's moves but your own. And then you wonder why you're not moving forward. It's because you're giving your energy to things that don't matter. Every second you look left or right, you lose momentum. Every time you take your eyes off your path, you give power to somebody else's. You've got to learn to lock in. You've got to get to a place where it doesn't matter what they're saying, what they're posting, what they're thinking. You're locked into your lane. When you're focused, you don't have time to argue. You don't have time to gossip. You don't have time to doubt yourself. When you're focused, all your energy is going to one place. And that's why focused people win. They're not smarter. They're not better. They're not more talented. They're just locked in. The problem is, some of you are living for the crowd. You want people to notice you, to clap for you, to validate you. But let me tell you something, the crowd is fickle. One day they love you, the next day they don't. One day they're cheering, the next day they're booing. If your motivation comes from them, then your consistency will always be fragile. You've got to get to a place where your drive is internal, not external. When the noise goes quiet, you still move. When nobody's watching, you still grind. That's real focus. Distractions are killers. Distractions steal more dreams than failure ever will. Because at least failure teaches you something. At least failure gives you experience. But distraction, it steals your time. It steals your attention. And you can't get those back. Every time you stop to entertain negativity, you're delaying your destiny. Every time you waste energy comparing yourself to somebody else, you're robbing yourself of progress. You've got to protect your focus like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your future depends on it. Your family depends on it. Your legacy depends on it. You can't afford to be halfway in. You can't afford to have one foot in your dream and the other foot in everybody else's opinion. You've got to make a decision. This is my lane. This is my race. And I'm running at full speed. And I'm telling you right now, the enemy of greatness is distraction. Some of you are not losing because you don't have what it takes. You're losing because you keep giving away your focus. You keep stopping to explain yourself. You keep pausing to answer the critics. You keep slowing down to watch what somebody else is doing. No, stay in your lane, eyes forward, head down, grind. When you lock in, when you really decide that nothing else matters but your mission, everything changes. Your time changes. Your habits change. Your energy changes. You start waking up earlier. You start cutting off things that don't feed you. You start ignoring conversations that don't grow you. That's what focus does. It sharpens you. It strengthens you. It makes you dangerous. But as long as you're distracted, you're weak. As long as you're distracted, you're divided. And a divided mind cannot build a solid future. You can't build something lasting if your attention is everywhere. You've got to give your dream the respect it deserves by giving it your full focus. So I don't care who's watching. I don't care who's talking. I don't care who's doubting. Stop worrying about them. Their opinions won't pay your bills. Their opinions won't build your business. Their opinions won't create your legacy. Stop giving them so much power. Focus on you. Focus on your growth. Focus on your mission. And when you do, watch how everything shifts. Watch how your consistency grows. Watch how your results multiply. Because focus is a force. When all your energy is going in one direction, it's only a matter of time before something breaks open. That's how breakthroughs happen. Not by being everywhere, but by being all in on what matters most. So lock in, tune out the noise, stop looking around, focus on you, because that's the only way you'll win. Success doesn't need a microphone. It doesn't need a billboard. It doesn't need you running around telling everybody what you're about to do. Success is quiet. Success is built in the dark, away from the cameras, away from the applause, away from the opinions. The problem is, too many of you want to be seen before you've done the work. You want people to clap for seeds you haven't even planted yet. You're announcing crops before you've broken ground. That's why you're frustrated, because the results don't match the noise. You've got to understand the grind is not glamorous. The grind is lonely, it's repetitive, it's uncelebrated. Nobody is cheering when you're waking up before the sun. Nobody is clapping when you're putting in hours while everybody else is sleeping. Nobody is applauding when you're sacrificing fun, when you're turning down comfort, when you're locked in on your dream. And that's okay, because those quiet sacrifices are building something louder than words ever could. Results. See, results speak a language everybody understands. You don't have to explain results. You don't have to defend results. You don't have to argue about results. When you produce, when you deliver, when you succeed, the results silence every critic. The results shut down every doubt. The results make the same people who ignored you suddenly pay attention. And here's the beauty of it. You didn't have to say a word. Some of you are wasting too much energy trying to convince people you're serious. You're posting about what you're going to do. You're telling everybody about your vision. But listen, talking about it doesn't move it forward. Talking doesn't build the dream. Work does. Action does. Consistency does. You want to prove you're serious? Stop announcing it and start showing it. Let your work introduce you before you walk in the room. Let your results speak for you long before you ever open your mouth. And don't think results come quick. They take time. They take seasons of grinding when nobody even knows what you're doing. They take years of sacrifice that nobody sees. And that's why so many people quit, because they want immediate validation. They want instant approval. But success doesn't reward impatience. Success rewards endurance. It rewards those who are willing to stay disciplined, even when nobody is watching, even when nobody cares, even when nobody claps. That's why you've got to fall in love with the process, not the praise. Because if you're doing it for the praise, you'll quit when the praise doesn't come. But if you're doing it for the purpose, if you're doing it for the vision, if you're doing it for the dream, then you'll keep building in silence. And when that silence finally breaks with results, people won't be able to deny you. They won't be able to overlook you. Think about it. Every great story you've ever admired didn't start with applause. It started with struggle. It started with discipline. It started with long nights and early mornings. And then one day, the results showed up, and that's when the world paid attention. But by then, it was too late for the critics to stop it, because the work had already been done. The foundation had already been laid. The results were undeniable. That's the level you need to reach. The level where you don't have to chase recognition. Recognition chases you. You don't have to beg people to see you. They can't help but see you. You don't have to scream about your vision because your results are screaming louder than you ever could. And when you get there, it feels different. It feels earned. It feels real. So stop worrying about who sees you right now. Stop trying to prove yourself with words. Stop trying to announce every move you're making. Put your head down. Put your heart in the work. Put your energy into the grind. And when the time is right, when you've given everything, when you've stayed consistent long enough, the results will show up. And when they do, they won't need an introduction. They'll speak for themselves. Because at the end of the day, success doesn't need to be shouted. Success is whispered in the grind and shouted in the results.